Hi everyone, I'm Christy Gordson and welcome to Washington Grown. Washington is known for its abundant wheat crop dating all the way back to the 1800s. And we've come a long way since then, becoming the fourth largest wheat producing state in the nation. So this episode is all about wheat. We'll head to Spokane to check out one of the best local places to get some pasta, Italia Trattoria. And then we'll hop in the kitchen with the owner to cook up some of our own.
I love the texture of the pasta.
Then we're in the Palouse at the McGregor headquarters to see how technology in farming has changed in the last 100 years. And we're getting a behind-the-scenes look at Franz Bakery to see how those tasty loaves, muffins, and rolls are made. All that and much more on Washington Grown.
Are you ready to cook me up?
Okay, I don't have the hang of this.
So this is where we get our water.
Cheers.
Hopefully they won't eat my shoelaces. We're in Spokane's historic Browns edition at Italia Trattoria. A trattoria is a casual restaurant that features simple Italian dishes, and this local hotspot is just that.
The ambiance is like my house or my kitchen or the kitchen I grew up in.
I think it's just welcoming.
Usually we're here an extra hour, hour and a half just because of the socializing within the restaurant.
And customers rave about the food, too.
The mackerel smells wonderful. This is why we come right here. This is the stuff.
It's rich and perfect and yummy, and they never disappoint you, ever.
For my second time in a row, I'm having the pork chops, and boy, are they delicious.
I love their meatballs, and their sauce is really nice.
Their fish is wonderful.
Executive Chef Anna Vogel has headed up kitchens around the world, most recently in Seattle for famed chef Tom Douglas. What are people going to find as far as the food?
Not so much American Italian, but really like regionally made Italian food, and they're gonna find a house-made pasta.
You know, having that availability of the wheat here in Washington.
We're very fortunate to be in the heart of the wheatland, and so we have access to shepherd's grain, flour, and we have a lot of other produce that we can use locally too.
Coming up, Chef Anna is teaching us how to make some pasta, frascatelli with pancetta and garlic.
I think frascatelli is an easy pasta to pronounce. Frascatelli, I guess not.
Yep.
Now we're off to Valley Forge, Washington to meet up with multiple generations of the Entmans family. I'm here with Jeff Entman, and he's a wheat farmer, and we're in the middle of one of your beautiful fields. And tell me a little bit about the generations of farmers that have led you here.
Well, my great-grandpa came over from Germany in the 1880s and homesteaded just a mile to the west here, and was real successful there. He grew potatoes for the restaurants in town and lots of hay, and he kind of catered to that market, because in the 1880s, there wasn't put it on the rail or the barge or whatever and ship your grains overseas like we have today.
So you yourself have seen technology change the way harvest is.
I know my grandma used to always marvel at the changes in her lifetime, and so they'd go out and bind the wheat, cut it and put it into little shocks and then throw those onto a wagon and bring them all to the combine, and people would pitch it into the combine all day with pitchforks.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine having to do that today?
No.
Jeff invited me for a ride in his combine. I got to see firsthand just how much has changed.
Advances in the farming equipment in the last 30 years have, allowed us to do a lot more no tillage and minimum till. Just the way they, it's like this combine, how it processes, it chops up the straw, so we don't have to plow the straw in order to get a good seed bed to seed into. Plus the advances in seeding tools that will seed into high residue soils. So the less that you work the soil, of course, the less the erosion you'll have.
Jeff is joined on the farm by his brother Randy and his dad Roy. Your family's been farming out here for an awful long time, right?
That's correct, yes.
How long have you been farming?
Well, I grew up on the farm, so you might say I farmed all my life. We live in a beautiful part of the world and a beautiful part of the United States. And, you know, we have a little ups and downs with the weather and markets and that sort of thing, but in general, it's been a great life.
This year, probably our biggest challenge has been the lack of water and the hot temperatures. That really has hurt. And of course, there's always the ever-changing weeds out here. You know, you think you get one control of one weed, and then the next year it's a different weed that pops up. Yeah, so it's always a learning curve, and every year it always throws a different curve at you.
To be able to work outside most every day and enjoy the surroundings that we have and enjoy the scenery, and to think that we're helping feed people in this nation, we really take a lot of satisfaction in that. Be able to work with your family, your brother, and all that, it's great.
You know, people ask me when I'm going to retire, and I say, why would I want to retire when I can work with my 2 boys and several grandchildren every day and out doing what I love to do. So as long as I can, I don't plan on retiring, whatever that word means, but I'm enjoying what I'm doing, so why not keep doing it?
The word wheat appropriately has eat within it and is one of the oldest sources of grain known to humans. With the low-carb, paleo, Atkins, and you name it diets, it's being attacked from many angles. If we stand back and look at wheat from a global perspective, you get an entirely different sense of the powerful and important nutritional impact wheat has. Globally, wheat provides more protein to humans than any other food source, animal or plant. Billions of lean and healthy Asian people consume wheat on a daily basis in the form of noodles, buns, flatbreads, and pastries. In countries such as Italy, wheat is found in pizza, pasta, bread, and baked goods. In Germany, it's served in the form of pretzels, bread, spätzle, and strudel. Certainly, if a person has a food intolerance or allergy like celiac disease, they should avoid wheat and other gluten-containing foods. Whole wheat in particular provides an important source of fiber, B vitamins, and minerals such as magnesium. One of the most favorable aspects of wheat is that it combines well with many foods. A sandwich holds protein and vegetables. A pasta dish can be combined with meatballs or legumes, olive oil, pesto, or cheese. A pizza can be topped with a plethora of vegetables and antioxidant-rich red sauce. In America, we lead the world in so many areas, but sometimes it's important to stand back from the headlines and look around at what other countries are doing and keep the eat in wheat.
Coming up, we're back at Italia Trattoria to whip up some house-made pasta. Boy, that's good. We're back in Spokane at Italia Trattoria. It's a welcoming neighborhood spot that features simple but always tasty Italian dishes.
It's rich and perfect and yummy, and they never disappoint you, ever.
We go to Italy quite often, and so we know Italian food, and we like this very much.
I love their meatballs, and their sauce is really nice.
Their fish is wonderful.
Now we're heading into the kitchen with Chef Anna Vogel to make some pasta of our own. What are we going to make today?
We're going to make fresca. It's a very easy pasta to make. It was made in the old country in Italy when sometimes people didn't have any eggs available.
Sounds delicious.
You're going to make it.
Okay, yay. First, we sprinkle water all over our semolina flour.
We use shepherd's grain.
This seems like something I could do.
It's kind of funny. You can even ask your kids to do it.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, it's just like, and it doesn't make a mess.
No.
And you gather very carefully and into a mound.
Then we use a strainer to pull out the balls of pasta and shake off the extra flour. we throw our pasta into boiling salted water.
Very gently, just kind of stir a little bit, make sure they don't clump together. And we just want to wait until the pasta comes up to the surface. I think frascatelli is an easy pasta to pronounce. Frascatelli, I guess not.
Yep. Then we pull out our pasta, drizzle a little olive oil on top and mix it around. We pour some olive oil in a pan, heat it up, and dump in some pancetta.
You always want to start with the pancetta first and render.
So that will give this a little bit.
It will give a little crisp and flavor and give a nice little caramelizing to it.
It smells so good already. Once the pancetta is crispy, we dump in our pasta. Is this like a one dish kind of thing, or will we?
It is a one dish kind of thing. Okay. It's gonna be all in the same pan.
Well, that's great. Then we add some jalapenos, garlic, and cheese. Smell the jalapenos.
Yes. The only thing with the jalapenos, they're very inconsistent and you never know what you're gonna get.
Yeah, so if it's gonna get really spicy or really mild.
So when you cut them, just cut the tip off and I taste it to see actually how strong it is.
Then toss in some broccoli, tomatoes, salt and pepper, and parsley.
Very delicious and very easy to make.
And healthy.
And very healthy.
Yeah. You get some good fat in there.
Yes, and it has the protein, the vegetable, and the carbohydrate. You have a complete dish.
And now we plate our dish, finishing it with a little olive oil and cheese. Look at how beautiful that is. We went from this to this. Now we get to eat it. I'm just gonna get a big old bite here. That is delicious. I love the texture of the pasta.
Yes, it's good. It's a little firm, but at the same time, it's just like soft in the middle.
And then the pancetta, boy, that's good. And how do you say it again?
Frascatelli.
Frascatelli. See, I did it that time. To get the recipe for Italia Trattoria's frascatelli, log on to our website at wagrown.com.
Bread, pasta, pastries, these are all things that we can thank wheat for. Well, I happen to have a traditional wheat dish called polvatitsa, a Yugoslavian cheese strudel, and I'm gonna take this around to my friends here in Spokane and see what they think. What do you think about wheat?
Oh, I think wheat's fantastic.
Yeah, it makes a lot of stuff.
Tell me some of your favorite products that are made with wheat.
Pastas and breads.
Beer.
Beer.
Cinnamon rolls.
Cake, cupcakes.
Tortillas. A lot of bread on my mind.
I love bread.
Well, what I got here is I have a traditional Yugoslavian strudel called polvatitsa. I'd like you guys to give it a try and tell me what you think. This is kind of like one of those dishes that's kind of passed down over generation to generation type thing.
Wow.
That's good.
Yeah.
Look at her face light up. The smile says it all.
It's good. Interesting texture. I really like it.
Describe it for me. Doughy. Doughy?
Like the flakiness of a strudel, but kind of the nice soft part of the bread pudding that I like.
Almost like a jelly sort of feel.
Gelatin-like. I like it.
Not too sweet. It's just perfect. I've never had really something like this before. I mean, this is really good.
But would you get it again?
Yeah, we're gonna get it.
Coming up, we're in the kitchen at Second Harvest, and we're using wheat to make some overnight yeasted waffles. Now we're off to the rolling hills of the Palouse at the McGregor Company headquarters in Colfax. This family business caters to farmers throughout the entire inland Northwest. I chatted with the company's president, Alex McGregor, about their rich history and the innovative technologies that have advanced our region's ag industry. What exactly does the McGregor Company do?
It's part of a 132-year-old family enterprise. We started in 1882 with sheep and then later wheat. In recent times, McGregor Company has become the applied research arm that helps take information from our land-grant schools and share it with farm families. We provide equipment, seed, and other products, and we're in business in 40 different farm communities in this inland area. We got started because a researcher at the Lind Experiment Station had done work on our farm in 1948, and had shown that if you replenish soils depleted of nutrients, you could double and sometimes even treble yields. So our business started with his expertise and 2 clerks at our ranch general store, Cliff Rollins and Sherman McGregor, who was my dad. And the business grew from that. And it grew because we never lost track of some really important farm values: industry, work character, honesty, and fair dealings. And those values run very deeply. Agriculture is a place where a handshake still counts for something, where people have deep roots.
But what has changed is technology, right? And McGregor Company has been involved in that ever since. So, you know, what has changed?
I think of the early days, it took on our ranch a crew of 110 men and women and 310 work animals to do the harvest. Today, on a little more acreage, it takes a crew of 7 and lots of expensive machinery. In 1914, my great-uncle Pete and 20 other wheat growers went to Washington State College and to the regents and told them of some major problems they were having. Nutrient levels were declining and soil erosion was a terrible menace. And they urged, as did farmers in many places around the country, scientists to get out of the classroom and hitch science to our plows. And a relationship was built back 100 years ago that's truly remarkable. Farmers, dedicated scientists and land-grant schools, and local businesses working together to innovate to address those kinds of problems. And the changes are truly remarkable. I look at farmers from this region, and during their working careers, we've increased yields 250%. We've reduced waterborne soil erosion 85%. We've reduced dust 6-fold. Taken together, those are the biggest improvements in stewardship and productivity of any generation since wheat was first sown 11,000 years ago. It's an exciting process.
So what does the future hold for our next generation of farmers?
In the next generation, we've got to double food production to feed 9.6 billion people, many of whom will be able to afford a more nutrient-rich diet. We've got to do so on fewer acres as urban growth continues, and we've got to do it using expensive resources ever more wisely. What could be a finer career than that?
Well, thank you so much for sharing your vast knowledge and just being so excited about the land and the people here. It's so much fun to talk to you.
It's a remarkable land and truly remarkable people.
What happens to wheat once it leaves the farm? In this case, its first stop is ADM Milling, one of the world's largest flour milling companies. Tomas spoke with ADM manager Sean Lindhorst about the importance of locally grown wheat and the journey it takes to become high-quality flour.
The quality of the wheat represents the quality of the flour. And so we're trying to find the best pockets of wheat available to us out there. The Washington area is a big draw for us. We want to make sure that we're milling good quality wheat so that we have good consistency quality going into the bakeries.
That is only going to give us a better quality product at the end of the day.
Absolutely.
And speaking of that, you guys are working with Franz, is that correct?
We are.
Tell me a little bit about that partnership.
We started talking with them about their program that they are introducing to the marketplace called Field to Fork. And basically, it's a program that is connecting the growers to the consumer. And the consumer of today, they really want to know where their products come from. You know, and it's really interesting because a lot of the food that we consume in the local market is grown here, you know, locally. So we want to showcase that. We want the consumer to see that, hey, we have local farmers, we have a local mill and a local bakery. And that's really what Field to Fork is about, and Grower Connect as well.
After our chat, we put on our safety gear and head out for a tour. The first stop is the grain delivery.
So this is one of how many trucks are going to come through here today?
About 27 trucks in a single day.
And how much wheat in the truck?
And there's about 1,000 to 1,100 bushels per truck.
Whew.
Then the grain goes through machines that clean and separate it from any unwanted materials. It's then broken down and sifted into different flour products. The flour is inspected, and now it's ready to be packaged and sent out to different stores, restaurants, and bakeries.
Now we're going to take this and send it to Christy, who's over at Franz, to see what happens next.
Franz is one of the largest bakeries on the West Coast, with more than 2,000 different products, from bread and dinner rolls to donuts and English muffins. Franz has a high demand for quality flour like the products they get from ADM. I spoke with Tim Harper, the manager of the Spokane location, about the importance of connecting the grower to the miller, baker, and finally, the consumer.
Here in Spokane, you're very close to kind of the heart of the wheat industry here in Washington State. Does that make a difference in the product that comes out of France?
I believe it does, yes. Consumers want to know that they're supporting something local and they're getting something that's fresh and something that's quality. So that's what we try to embrace throughout all of our processes.
Now Tim's giving us a look at how some of our favorite Franz products are made. First, the flour is mixed with water and yeast and put in a fermentation room.
Well, this is a whole lot of dough.
This fermentation process takes place over a period of 4 hours, and that's what really gives our bread its flavor.
Then it's remixed to become dough and is sliced to size. Then the dough is dropped into pans and placed in a proof box where it rises once again. After this, loaves can be topped with grains or flour before being sent to the big oven to be baked. Once the bread is baked and ready to go, it's separated from its pan to cool. Then it's sliced and ready for packaging to be delivered to a store or restaurant near you.
We're at the kitchen at Second Harvest Food Bank, and we're in the cooking kitchen here. And Kristen's gonna show me how to do some cooking.
Yes,
You're gonna be the teacher today, which is kind of what they do here, and they show folks how to, make some dishes. And what are we gonna make?
We're gonna make some really delicious waffles. These are maybe a little different than other waffles you've had because they have yeast in them.
Okay.
So they're an overnight waffle.
All right, and that makes it easier?
Makes it easier to wake up in the morning
Okay.
and roll out of bed and make waffles.
The first step is to combine water, butter, and brown sugar.
Does your family, do they like waffles or do they like pancakes?
I'm not sure what side we're on. We love both, actually.
Yeah.
How about yours?
We eat pancakes more often, but when we bring out the waffle iron, it's a treat, and it's like a weekend thing for us.
I think waffles kind of get a bad rap for taking longer to cook or prepare.
Yeah.
I'm gonna win you over to Team Waffle every day.
Waffle every day.
Next, we add some all-purpose flour, some whole wheat flour, and a little salt to the liquid.
Why are we using 2 different kinds of flour?
I try to get as many whole grains in my family as I can.
Right.
And especially in the morning, then it just keeps you full and gives you more energy for the rest of your day. But the hard thing sometimes is that if you use only whole wheat, it'll make a baked product that's really dense and heavy. So in this one, we have 3 cups of it and then 2 cups of the all-purpose flour. And then it just ends up getting that perfect consistency.
Sure.
But you still get the nice nutty, rich whole wheat flavor to it. And then do you want to sprinkle our yeast on top?
Okay, and just this little packet?
Yep, 1 packet of yeast.
Okay. Ideally though, you put this in like before you go to bed.
Yep.
And then you wake up in the morning and it's all ready to go. And
I do this like when I'm all ready for bed, then I'll just head to the kitchen, mix this up real quick, cover it up, and then just let it sit on the counter.
It already smells good.
We let the mixture rest overnight or for about 8 hours.
We're gonna peel this back and you're gonna smell that sourdough that I was telling you about.
I can. Oh wow, that smells really good.
Yeah, I love that.
So these aren't gonna be as sweet.
No, they're not as sweet, which is nice when you top them with all your sugary toppings. Then we're still gonna be plenty sweet.
Next, we add in some eggs and a little baking soda.
And then do you wanna mix it with our wooden spoon?
Sure.
We just wanna mix it just enough that those eggs are.
Is there a reason we're using the wooden spoon, or just we like the wooden spoon?
Yeah, you don't wanna use a whisk because it will deflate it too much. We wanna be gentle with it. And you can see it feels kind of spongy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
I don't
that
work
yeast
with
working with
yeasted
it.
stuff very often, so you'll have to tell me how I'm doing.
You're doing great.
Okay.
You can be a little more vigorous.
Okay. You're so sweet and subtle.
Well, the danger of not mixing it too much is that then we'll get little chunks of like a side of scrambled eggs attached to your waffle, which we don't really want. Okay. So.
Am I
perfect?
Still?
You ready?
Are you sure?
Yes, it looks
great. You can say if it doesn't look perfect.
You know what? It's the most beautiful waffle batter I've ever seen. You did that amazing of a job.
We spritz our iron with some non-stick spray and ladle in some batter. What kind of toppings does your family like to put on waffles?
The kids love syrup.
Okay.
But they love syrup on peanut butter. That's their favorite.
That's a good, I like
waffles.
that. Okay, it's ready.
First one's ready.
Can you do these if you have just like a regular waffle iron?
Oh yeah, any kind of waffle iron is great.
I mean, I love the thickness of the Belgian waffle, but
well, then it holds more toppings,
it smells
right?
really good. We cook up a second waffle, and then it's time to dress them up.
At my house, we like to play the whipped cream game.
Now, what's that?
I like to put it in my kids' mouths.
Yeah.
And I give them just like a tiny bit at a time, and then once I just surprise them and fill their whole mouth.
Oh, jeez.
So it's kind of like a waiting game, and everyone's excited.
Everyone's excited. My kids just do it on their own, and so do I.
My waffle apparently reflects my sweet tooth.
Oh. Now my life is good.
Ready to dig in?
Yes, you bet. Because I'm ready. Stuff my face. I love how light it is on the inside.
But the edges still get crisp, and it's not overly sweet.
What a great way to start your day.
And lots of jam.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
To get the recipe for Kristen's overnight yeasted waffles, visit our website at wagrown.com. From pasta to bread to cakes and cookies, Washington is a key part of providing the world with delicious products and has been for more than 100 years. That's it for this episode of Washington Grown. Thanks for watching.